Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Eugene Honrath from Shadow Warriors. I've got Joel Green from Grit City Custom Knives. How are you, man?
I'm doing great, Eugene. How about yourself?
Good, 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 good. Well, thank you for joining us here with your Meet the Maker interview. We look forward to learning about you and seeing what you have to offer. So, tell me a little bit about your company, where you're at, the company name, how you came to that, and then the products that you produce.
All right. Let's start. Let's start with the name. What's our name, right? Grit City Customized, Tacoma, Washington, based company, known as Grit City. I kind of took the last name. G was in my green, obviously, and I put the Washington State logo through the G in there. Needed something that fit, and Grit City Custom Knives was born.
Nice.
Um, yeah, that's where I started with that one.
What's the grit? What's
Um,
the grit city? Tell me about that real
Well,
quick.
you got the jewel of Washington, Seattle, the West Coast. You know, it's this beautiful city, and then you got this gritty little sister down the way, the third largest city in Washington, Tacoma, and we've kind of been the little, I don't know, the seconds of Washington, but you know, it's great. It's a little working class town. Everybody's doing something. You know, you got welders, you got fabricators, you got guys that work at the port. Everybody's out here, you know, busting their hump and keeping Tacoma cleared. So it's kind of cool.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the products that you create, and then how we got to what you're creating.
Okay. I originally started. I was unemployed for 2 months, and I was watching a video on YouTube. You know, YouTube College, and watched a video on a guy making a do-it-yourself survival knife. And I'm looking at the stuff, and I'm like, I have most of the tools to do that. I'm like, I think I can do that. And I watched that video about 18 times, and finally, I'm like, yeah, I can definitely do this. Okay, let's try something here. And you know, I made my first knife look like a steak knife, and it still sits in a drawer in my shop. But eventually, I had a friend that wanted me to make him something, and it was inspired by another maker. I'm not you know, we've all done it.
Yep.
And I've actually talked to the individual in person, and you know, my street cleaver is reminiscent of a Razel uh, uh, knife, and you know, I've talked to Mr. Graham on the phone, and he gave me his blessing to proceed, and that's kind of where I got started. I made one for a friend who was looking for something similar but not the same, and you know, this profile ish, and to work with it, and that's kind of how I got my start. Next thing I've reconfigured my design and remade it, and that was my most popular knife up until recently. Um, I
And
just
how long ago was that?
I've been doing this for almost just shy of 5 years now.
Okay.
Just shy of 5 years.
Now, do you
So,
do it full time or part time?
oh, very much part time. I do it when I can in my shop. You know, after my 9 to 5, I go put in 8 like everybody else, and then go put in 4 to 5 more in my shop at the end of the day. And you know, I got a knife widow for a wife. So,
she endorses the addiction. Is that what you're saying?
oh yeah, she does. She loves it because I don't have to I don't have to dip into the house fund, you know, for mad money. So
Yeah, there you go. A little bit of spending money.
exactly.
So tell me about it. About the company. Who's involved? Is it just you, or do you have some workers? And then
It's
it kind of explain your product line after that.
It is just me. I've had a couple guys come by the shop, and I hate the term intern or apprentice. They just came by and learned. They wanted to learn how to grind out the knives themselves, and they come by. They're guests in my shop anytime. They can use tools. You know, they'll help me. Oh crap! Ah, you still there?
Yep.
All right, sorry about that.
No, it's
Somebody
okay.
said to call for this. Uh, you know, but they're guests in my shop, and they're welcome anytime. So I mean, they help me out when I get in a pinch, or you know, need some blades profiled, or you know, I trust them. They've done work for me to the point where it's you know, short of putting a bevel on something, they are you know, shaping some handles. but I'd say 95% of the work is done by myself. I run my own books. I answer my own emails, which is why I'm terrible at it. If I spend as much time answering emails as making knives, I'd probably make a lot more. So.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the plight of the small business owner. So tell me about your product line, and you kind of mentioned the cleaver and kind of where you're at and what's the smallest, what's the largest, and kind of everything in the middle.
Okay, well, as my name suggests, custom knives. I'm not opposed to doing customs. I kind of shied away from it a little bit. Largest I can do right now in my forge is probably about 7 to 9 inch blade with a with handle. I mean, you're looking at what 13, 14 inches. I could probably go about that in my propane forge. So I'll start with the street cleaver, which is a like 3.5 inch EDC style pocket cleaver, which is everybody likes them right now. I've gotten into smalls. I like making smalls better. I like 3-finger. I like EDC blades.
Yeah.
So I've been doing 6 inches, 7 inches with handle and blade. I like something you wear on your belt and it goes away. My strong sides have become very popular, and which is a 2 3/4 inch bladed. Overall it's just shy of 6 inches, but it's a great little EDC blade. I absolutely love it. Yeah. And I carried up until recently. That's the one I carried on my person for the longest time, and I've gone into larger versions of those per request of other people. So those the strong side XL, which is about 3/4 inch longer, and then I make one called the Dew Claw, which is smaller double hollow ground. It's a little skinner. It's not very big as far as the blade goes, but obviously if I grab it from my side, it's right here. So I Dew Claw.
Gotcha.
Just like on the dog. So, and I think that's pretty much it for production. All my street cleavers, I still hand profile myself from Barstow. The strong sides and the strong sides XLs and any of my Dew Claws are based off of one profile, which is the strong side, and then I have actually given that to a local company, Metal Supermarkets here in Canton, Auburn. And they will do my profiling. I actually have them in a CAD file, and they'll water jet those blanks for me now.
Nice.
So yeah, they're alleviating some of my work, which makes them a little cheaper for people, especially for a smaller blade. I don't want to run up, a $200 glorified neck knife. It's not fair to anybody. I want to keep my product available for one. I want to tell somebody, well, I don't have any in stock, and which I'm already doing, which sucks, but. I don't want to hit them with sticker shock either, because everybody's time's worth something. Yeah. So. Yeah.
No, absolutely. And I think that I think the EDC is a good market because whether I know some people disagree with me, but I think an EDC knife can probably be used a larger period of time than something bigger, because not everyone lives in the woods.
Exactly.
Or can carry a big knife.
Right. If I was brush crafting, I'd do something completely different. So.
Yeah. So as your name kind of hints at, do you do more of your low production stuff or more custom? And then what's some of the really interesting custom work that you've done?
I would say right now I am doing more production. The customs I do on a case-by-case basis. Okay. Mostly by who needs them. I love a good story. So if you got somebody getting deployed, hell yeah, I'll take care of you. If you got somebody who needs a very specific style blade, yeah, I'll take care of you. But I since I do work a 9 to 5, I like to keep my workload manageable. Okay. So I've been doing things more in batches, and then either posting them all as a lot for sale and people buy it individually, or I hate doing pre-sales. I do like a pre-sign-up spot. I don't take any money up front, since I do not do this full time. I can't have. That sounds terrible. I don't like having somebody breathing down my neck. I gave you money. Where's my knife? It's like, yep. Look, I'm doing this as I can. PM. Where's the knife at? Where's the knife at? Yeah, which I don't mind. Once I start it, you're gonna get like 40 pictures from me throughout the process. I'm like, here it is, tempered. Here it is, click. It's an heat treat right now. Or it's getting handles, it's getting, you name it. I'm a picture junkie when it comes to that. So
No, that's awesome. That's keeping the customer informed. So what? So not to go back, but what's your
yeah.
background?
I used to work in construction for about 10 years. First and foremost, the United States Marine. I was with a reserve engineer battalion that was based out of Fort Lewis, Washington, deployed twice to Iraq.
Thank you for your service.
And, oh, thank you. I would do it all again in a heartbeat. And I miss it every day. After construction, I did meth abatement, cleaning up meth houses. And when I was unemployed from that is when I learned YouTube college knife making.
Nice.
And now I do apartment maintenance, and I'm a part-time knife maker. So my commute is 2 miles to work. I come home for lunch. I'm Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. I absolutely love it. And I get an hour lunch. So, I'm a fat kid. I like my food. So
there you go. You can actually cook food.
Oh yeah, I come home and let my dogs out and cook some lunch, watch some TV, and call it a good day. So
nice. All right, so let's get back on track. So what's the craziest request you've ever gotten in terms of custom work? And not like ludicrous, because I know you always get ludicrous stuff. Like, can you do a 5-foot long sword? But like, what's something cool that you've got in terms of requests, custom wise?
I get a lot of requests for throwing knives, which I just refer them to Walgreens or Walmart. You can get SOG throwing knives for cheap, and you're not going to spend an arm and a leg for a custom throwing knife.
Do you really get a lot of requests for that?
More than I would like to admit. Yes.
Oh.
I would say I would probably get 2 a month for a throwing knife.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's never people I've ever talked to. It's always just random people. Hey, stumbled across your page. You make throwing knives? Like, no, but maybe try this other guy. He might. I was trying to throw somebody else under the bus. So I think the last person I threw under the bus was Michael Cleveland from Half-Life. And I was like, no, talk to him. He might do it.
And I can only imagine what Michael said.
Oh yeah, no, it's a bunch of dirty scowls, emojis, and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. I guess people think for some reason, oh, you're in the knives, and then someone asks us like, hey, do you know? I mean, like, who could make me a really good throwing knife? And I was like, I don't know anyone who makes custom throwing knives. I was like, your best bet, because you don't actually do it like legitly, is just go buy it off of Amazon.
Exactly. You're going to save yourself a ton of money and a lot of heartache.
Yeah, absolutely. So I always like to ask this. I know that you make your items to sell and make money. Have you gotten any barter requests, and what's kind of a funny barter request that you've gotten?
I have traded knives for homemade beer.
Yeah?
I have traded knives for fabrication work for my shop. A friend of mine is a fabricator and made a knife vise for me. I'm actually fixing to do some more trade here with him for a hydraulic press. And what else? I think that's about it for barter.
You're in Washington. You're in Washington, so it is. You're in Washington, so it is legal. Any trade for marijuana?
No, not for me personally. I don't oppose it, but I try to steer clear. I'm a beer man. I like beer.
Me too.
Honestly, the offer hasn't come up yet. I got a buddy that makes some killer edibles, and I hear he'd love to trade me, and we just haven't talked in person, right?
Wink, wink. So yeah, right. So tell me a little bit about where your knives range in terms of price. What's the norm, and then how you price custom work.
I would say most everything production based starts at between, let's see here. Let's call it 140.
Okay.
Start baseline. Like, that's a basic textured handled EDC blade. I don't do customs anymore for anything under 225, 250. That's just because it's time. It's I now have to deviate from my regularly scheduled programming to do side project, and
right.
And I still do that with the street cleavers. I they are all still customs in my book, but I do not charge accordingly, because they are in my line, my product line. I'd like to keep them there. I just haven't got off my lazy ass and got the file into AutoCAD to have them water jetted to expedite the process and make them a little cheaper for everybody else. So that'll come in time. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay. Nice. So let's do a little quick recap of what your social media links are, where people can
Okay.
find your knives, and then we'll have these links in the comments. And I'm also going to show off some of your work at the end of this as well. After we're done talking, some of your customs or your production knives will show up.
Very cool.
So give me a little quick recap of who you are, what you produce, and then your social media links.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, no, I'm Joel Green, Grit City Custom Knives. You can follow me on Facebook, Grit City Custom Knives, Instagram at Grit City Custom Knives, and I think somewhere out there might be a Twitter under the same. I don't know. I don't tweet, so somebody let me know. And email gritcitycustomknives at yahoo.com.
Nice, awesome. And so tell me a little bit about what you produce, or recap that, and then so just what do you produce, and a little recap on that.
Making, I would say 95% right now is EDC fixed blades, under 6 inches, 6 inches and under. Most everything else above that, are customs. So production wise, I keep it in the smalls. So.
Nice, awesome. Hey man, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we greatly appreciate it, man.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
All right, brother. Have a great night.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks.